Hi everyone. This is Friday, September the 26th. Whoa, the month has gone by fast. I just can't believe how quick the week has gone by. Isn't it strange how some weeks go by so fast and other weeks you think they're never going to end? And they all contain the same amount of time. I don't have to explain that to you. It doesn't take a NASA expert to figure out how that works. But anyway, it has nothing to do with today's story. In fact, I don't even have a today's story. I just said, I'll just talk. Yeah, I'll find something to talk about. Went to the grocery today because since I cleaned out my refrigerator and I was getting low on Dr. Pepper, yep, had to clean out the refrigerator. Oh, out went the carrot, the celery, the green pepper, cucumbers might make it another day or two. Oh, what else? It doesn't matter what else. It had to go. I just hate when I have to do that. But you know what it's like when you live alone. You just can't eat that much food fast enough. If it would keep longer, well, of course, it'd be great on your grocery bill if it would keep longer and make it so much easier for you to prepare your own meals. So anyway, I went to the grocery. Let's see. I go to the vegetables first. I buy those packages of angel hair coleslaw. It's cut pretty fine. I don't like chunky coleslaw. I like it shredded fine. I got me a set of new knives and a big chef's knife that long. I have to be very careful. I'm afraid I'm going to cut my head off if I don't watch what I'm doing. I've already tried cutting off the end of my thumb, and then I cut off the end of my forefinger. I don't want to go into that, and you don't want to hear it either. So, cause I still got them. Yeah, we sewed them back on, or you might say I'd use some super glue. Super glue put them back together. And if you laugh and say that's crazy, that's funny, it may be funny, but it ain't crazy. Because when I went to the doctor, and I wasn't thinking my finger's not getting better. She reached over and picked up a little thing of super glue, and she glued my finger back. Yeah, that's what she did. Put one of them little rubber things on the end of my finger and left it alone. There you are. She looks good as new, doesn't it? Kind of numb on the end, but still looks good. So keep in mind, super glue works. If the doctors can use it, so can I. Okay, we don't want to talk about that. I go in Kroger. I get my vegetables. I get my salad greens. I love a good salad. And the thing about a good salad is your salad dressing. Few little crispy things to go on top. Give it a little more flavor. And whatever kind of dressing you like. Now, I love a good blue cheese dressing, but I haven't found any in a jar that I like yet. So if I want blue cheese, I have to make it myself. After I finish that, I go past the deli where you get your meat and everything. Most of the time, I get the shaved honey ham. But I've been letting so much of it go to waste lately because can't can't eat all of it. I never buy more than a half pound. And it does make good sandwiches. It makes good salad. Good honey ham is just plain good. That's all there is to it. So I decided, no, I'm going to pass up the meat counter. And I went over where they have the special, where they have the, I guess it's the day old chicken that they fried, or it's barbecued, or you get pulled pork, or different things like that, and it'll be marked down half price. Now, that's what I bought today. I bought some little chicken, what were they? Chicken thighs or chicken legs or something. They've been coated. They really look good, but I get 4 in a package because I can eat 1 for each meal. It's enough meat for me and won't last any longer than 4 days, so that's what I buy nowadays. I decided I'm going to quit buying the roasted chicken because it's too much chicken. It takes me too long to fix this, fix that, fix chicken salad, who knows what else. So I decided I'll go with the half-price chicken. It's already cooked, and it worked great, however I want to eat it. Gotta have bread. And they used to have some loaves of bread. Don't know what the brand name was, but I just loved that double loaf of bread. And I look every time thinking they'll have it again, but they haven't had it. So I'll go next to the, you know, the racks where they have this special, I think it's a day-old stuff. It's usually cookies and peach and cherry and apple pies, and sometimes it's half of a cake, and some of those packages have a dozen cookies in them. They're made there in the bakery, and they have a lot of good stuff there, and it's all marked down. It's either half price or it's reduced enough that you are willing to buy it. So I walked over there, and there was a lady reaching in. They had put out a lot of stuff, a whole lot of stuff. This was going to be hard to pick from. The lady had reached over and she picked up a box like this. See what it says, fresh baked in store. This is private selection. And she said, have you tried these? I said, no. And she said, well, they're chocolate inside. They're like it's not a croissant, but anyway, I'll show you what they look like. You can see them in the box, see? And on the end, you see a little bit of chocolate. She said, now what you do, you put them in the oven. You want to heat them. You don't want to eat them cold. Now, she had a box like this in her hand, and I said, well, she said, take these. I said, no, they've got more. I'll just get one for myself. Now, you see, it says $2.30. The original price on it was, upside down, $5.49. Not a bad deal. $2.30. And young clerk came up. Now, you know they have those people in Kroger's. You see them walking around. You can tell they've all got their patches and aprons and everything, and their caps on, so you know that they work for Kroger. And I don't know what they do, but they're the very ones, if you're looking for something, you can ask them how to find it. So this young fella came over, and we both standing there with our chocolate croissants in our hands, and she said, I just love these things. You know how people just start talking to you like they're your next door neighbor. You don't pay any attention to that. Doesn't matter who they are. They're friendly. So there we are discussing the chocolate croissants, and she said something about she was getting these, and he said, well, why don't I just give them to you? Whoa, he's going to give them to her. I just reached over and got me a box too. And so he marked on the top of the box. He said, now, when you give this to the clerk at the register, she'll see this and she'll know that it's free. Wow. $5.49 and I'm getting it free. Well, I haven't tried one yet, but I'll probably cut one of them in half. There's 4 of them in this box. I can probably make 8 helpings out of these because they're good size. That's what I like when you go on the right day. And today being Friday is obviously a good day for bargains. They'll change the prices of things and what have you. I've seen that happen quite often. So, there I was. Well, we start talking, and this lady's talking to me like she was my next door neighbor. Never seen her before in my life. Friendly as could be. So, naturally, in the process of our conversation, I said, do you ever watch YouTube? You expected that, didn't you? She said, well, not really. I said, do you know how? She said, yes. I said, well, I have a channel on YouTube, and I went blah, 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 and explained to her. And I said, when you go home, I want you to go on YouTube and find my channel. Well, she asked what it was called, and I told her. And we stood there talking to each other, just laughing and talking and laughing. And I was describing my channel to her, and I said, some people say they watch me before they go to bed at night, that I put them to sleep. And she thought that was funny. You know, they think that's kind of a joke. Yeah, I put a lot of people to sleep every night. So she said, oh, she couldn't wait. She could just tell by my personality. I said, some of them think I'm funny, but I don't remember anything I've ever said that was funny. But they say it's the way I look when I tell stories. Okay, I'll accept that. So I explained Chit Chat with Granny Pat to her, and how many subscribers I've had so far, and so forth and so on. You know, you got to ramble a little bit and explain the channel so that you'll get the person interested enough that when they get home, they will turn on their YouTube and they'll look for me. And I'm expecting her to look for me because I told her, I said, I'm going to tell about our meeting today and the things we bought. And I said, what is your name? And she said, Hyla, Hyla. Okay, folks, I'm expecting Hyla to be watching me now. I hope she is, and I have a feeling she's laughing when she sees me. She said, there she is. She said she would be on, and she said she would be talking about us. So that's what I'm doing, Hyla. And if you like this video, check the list of stories that I've told over 3.5 years. And I'm sure you'll find some good ones that you will enjoy. And it's been such a pleasure meeting this lady today. Now, not only did I buy those croissants. You know what a croissant is. A croissant. It's a fancy word. That's what it is. But here's something I love. I took some out of the box. This was $5. No, how much was it? Yeah, it was $5. But these are expensive. And I like them, and I don't buy them very often because I can't eat them fast enough. But here's what they look like. You know what the croissants look like. Aren't they pretty? And these are kind of nice. So the best thing you can do with these is when you're having a group in, or you're watching the football game on TV, doesn't matter what, Could be the kids are getting home from school, and they're like I was when I was in school. Soon as I got home in the afternoon, I wanted something to eat. So, here's what you do. Should have brought a knife in, but I didn't have what I needed, but I can explain it to you and you'll understand. These are the best things you can use for making little chicken salad sandwiches. There's just about 4 bites in one. These are good size ones. They look very good, and they got a little body to them, you know, a little give. And I don't like them when they get hard. So you can slit them. Let me pick one up. It's easier that way. Cut it. This is my X-Acto knife. I won't use it. I'll just demonstrate with it. Cut down the middle this way. Don't cut all the way through. And then you can open it and put a tablespoonful of chicken salad in there. If you don't like to cut it that way, turn it sideways, this way, and cut it down the side like you would a sandwich. Open it up. Best thing you can have when you've got company coming and you just need something to snack on. Go up on the roof, sit up there where it's cool, breeze blowing, take something to drink with you, and a few potato chips, and your little croissant sandwiches made with, now make sure you cut your chicken and your celery and whatever your nuts and everything in your chicken salad. Make sure they're cut rather fine because you don't want them big and chunky because these croissants aren't big enough for the chunky stuff. So mix up pretty good. In fact, I wish I had some chicken salad now. I would love to have one. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I know there was something else I was going to add to it, but I haven't a clue what it was. Jan sent me a message. I think she'll be coming home in the next day or two. And she's been gone long enough. You know, 2 weeks is long enough to be anywhere as far as I'm concerned. You wear down. You've seen everything you want to see, and you've done. And I surely hope they have caught enough fish, crappie, and what else? Crab. You know, I saw a crab on the beach down there once at Seabrook Island. I'd never seen a crab before. And this was a blue crab. I know it was a blue crab because Jan was describing one the other day, and I said, oh, that's what I saw on the beach one time. And I couldn't tell if it was dead or alive because I was afraid to get too close to it. But it had those claws stuck out there like this. And you know what? They got those eyes that are like antennas on top of their head. Have you seen them? Now, I'm not dumb. I know those were little antennas on their heads. And I was afraid to get too close to it because if it was live, I knew it was going to reach out and grab me right in the nose. But anybody that does a lot of seafood and fishing, you know, they'll know if that crab I saw sitting right on top of the sand and those 2 antennas sticking up with eyes. That sounds like something you'd see in a movie. Well, I saw it for real. And I don't think I want to eat any of that stuff. I'll just stick to catfish. And I eat enough of that because there are 3 places in town. They all have equal quality perch, catfish, or whatever kind of fish you get out of the river. And that's what I always get. Catfish, French fries, and coleslaw. Now, I am particular about my coleslaw. In fact, you just liable to see me walk in, order my catfish and my french fries, and pull out a container of my own coleslaw that I brought from home, because nobody makes coleslaw that I like better than my own. I know you do the same thing. You like your own better than any that you eat in a restaurant. And it's so easy. It's so simple. I ate more of my fried corn last night. Now, if you haven't watched the fried corn recipe, you need to watch it. I added my fresh corn that I'd cut off the cob from last summer. Kept it in the freezer all winter. And I said, time to get rid of that fresh corn. So with what I had made in fried corn, what I had made from canned whole kernel corn, I added a whole package of my fresh cut corn. And folks, it's good. It's enough for me 4 or 5 meals, and I'm going to eat them fast enough so that the corn doesn't spoil on me. So that's my kitchen talk for today. I'm trying to think of something I can come up with. Some people just look at me and say, all you have to do is start talking. I want to do more than just talking. I want to improve my subscription list. Now, this is a fact. When I started this channel, I didn't start it. Jan and Jessica started it, and they expected me to keep it up. Well, that's what I've been doing for 3.5 years now. Done pretty good so far. Got so many nice compliments. I cannot express my gratitude to you people enough for following me, listening to me, putting up with me, and complimenting me. You don't have to pay me all those compliments, but I'll put it this way. I like them. Yes, I do. Everybody likes a compliment now and then, especially when you get to be 89 years old. Well, I won't tell everybody how old I am. I'll just let them guess. So, the stories I've told, oh, this is what's funny. I was telling someone about the very first video that I did on YouTube, and how I finished recording it and everything in the kitchen, and then I was ready to sit down and watch it, review and edit. I don't do any editing, I just review. And when I did, there wasn't a video there. Nothing was there. I had to start all over again. I had to make that recipe twice. So that was the first one I did 3.5 years ago. Keep that in mind. My memory is not, it's pretty good, but it's not that good that I remember what I said. So I watched it. Sat right here and watched that whole thing. And I don't mean to be bragging about myself. I know I'm just run-of-the-mill kind of person. But it was good. I was so surprised. It was as though someone else was telling the story, not me. And I liked it. So, I'm going to continue going backwards and picking up on all of my stories. I may not watch all of them a second time, but there are quite a few of them that I do want to watch a second time because I don't remember what I said. Don't have a clue what I talked about when I look at those titles. There's only one way to find out. Watch the video and see. And it's so nice to watch yourself and be satisfied with what you see. I've always been critical, always criticized everything I ever did. But I've gotten old enough now to accept the mistakes and the flaws in people. Everybody has a few flaws, but sometimes those flaws are what make a video funny. They can make it interesting, and you'll sit and watch the video again. It's a good feeling, it really is. So if you've been thinking about starting your own YouTube channel, do some serious thinking about it and get somebody that's experienced to help you. You can't do it by yourself if you're elderly like I am. I didn't know what all those words meant. I think Webster's going to have to write a new dictionary because there's so many new words since all these electronics and technical things have come out that have to use little machines and plug into the wall before you can do it. So get someone that's willing to help you. Think about it seriously, what you would like to do, what you want to accomplish in your YouTube channel. I really didn't want to accomplish anything. I wanted to make people happy. I wanted people to hear my stories and the stories that my mother told me. She told so many good stories. I just wish I'd written them down and could remember all of them. But she really was a terrific person. She could tell such good stories. And now that I'm putting them on video, they say they'll be there forever. They'll get old, but it'll be like going back and listening to Shakespeare, I guess. People still watch Shakespeare, don't they? I was in Shakespeare's birthplace when I was in England once. Gosh, those little cabins were so small, and the ceiling were only about 7 feet high. But my understanding, people weren't very tall in those days, so they didn't need a 9-foot ceiling. And they sure didn't have it either. So I don't know much about Shakespeare, never took an interest in Shakespeare, but I've still got time left. I can learn a few things and might like some of the things that I've been putting aside all these years and saying, gosh, that sounds so boring. It's not boring anymore. Stick with it. Get somebody to help you. Start your own YouTube channel and have a little logo or a little trademark like I've got. See, I've got a trademark. My glasses don't match anything today, but I don't put much effort into making my glasses match what I'm wearing, because what I'm wearing is my everyday clothes. I've been wearing them for years. Some of them, I don't know how long. I've got one blouse I was wearing it about one day a week, and I'd had it 25 years. It didn't have spots on it. It was a sort of a knitted top, and it was machine knitted, and It didn't have any spots on it. It didn't have any tears or buttons missing. I don't know what was keeping that pullover alive, but it was the most comfortable one I had in the closet, and I've got a lot of them in the closet, but I can't get rid of that one shirt. 25 years. Soon it'll be a vintage shirt. I don't know why I'm telling you this stuff, but it's just, as you say, it's just chit-chat, a little this and a little that, and pull it all together. You've got a story. So they say. Friday night, I don't know what's on tonight. I'm not enjoying Turner Classic Movies this week. They haven't had any that appeal to me. They're not my kind of movie. My movies were all in the 1950s. There were so many wonderful Technicolor movies. And I can remember, you always had a double feature. And cartoon in between the double feature. Think about that. You were in the theater at least 2-3 hours. Now you're in there an hour and a half, and that's it. And I can always remember sitting in those fold-down red theater seats, and they have a newsreel. Newsreel was between every double feature. It's just like every night at 6 o'clock when Gabriel Heater came on with the news. You got the same thing at the theater. When they were getting ready to show one movie, you got to see a newsreel of the up-to-date news. And what I remember about it was you saw this train coming towards you, and you'd actually slide down in your seat because it looked like that train was coming at you and going to come right out of that screen into the audience. Never failed that I didn't slide down in my seat when that train came through between the movies. You probably think that's silly, but it's not so silly that I can't remember it. Remembering these things, they're just a simple little part of life. But I like it. I like remembering those little things. I like remembering wading in the creek and seeing the tadpoles and the crawdads. I didn't care much for crawdads because they bite, they pinch you. But there were so many simple things in life that we fail to appreciate, but we appreciate them now. And the one thing I want to tell you that I'm glad I am able to tell are the experiences as a little girl during World War II. Not many of you remember World War II. You know who you are. You know what you were doing, what your family was doing, and how many in your family was wearing a soldier's uniform. I remember those things too. And that's one of the reasons I wanted my stories on video. I want my descendants to know what life was like back then. You need to do the same thing. You need to be recording the things you do today, day after day. That sounds so simple and dull, but they won't in 50 years. They will be what they make movies about. I just love to see a movie made about my mother's family, my dad. I think, as far as I'm concerned, you could top the Waltons. And I think some of you believe that too. So I'm going to let you go. My sisters say I talk too long. Some say they like my long stories. And I kind of enjoy the longer stories better than those that are 5 and 10 minutes. They don't do much for me. If I'm going to sit down and watch something, I want my Dr. Pepper in one hand and my cheese and crackers in the other hand and my pencil and paper. Well, I only have two hands. Well, we can pretend. And then I've got my recorded videos that I can go back. So do the same thing I'm going to do. When you get bored, go down the list of my videos. The titles won't mean so much to you until you get into the story. And then you'll understand why I called it that. And the ones about World War II, and I love this title. It's called Through the Eyes of a Child. And that child was me. So thank you for watching me today. I'm going to fix some chicken salad. I have to. I've got a dozen croissants here. Don't they look good? And I'll warm them up a little when I get ready to put my chicken salad in there. And I put plenty of grapes. Do what I do. When you're picking out your grapes in the grocery, pick one of them off and eat it. Make sure they're sweet. I won't buy them unless they're good and sweet. So, that's what you call. You got to sample the product sometime in order to buy it. So that's my story for today. Here, Friday, September the 26th. Oh, by the way, my brother had a birthday about 4 days ago. Yes, he would have been, I haven't figured it up, over 100 years old. 100 years old. Yeah, kind of hard to believe even for me. Whatever I experienced, some of that I think, why couldn't I have remembered more? Write it down, folks. Put it on tape. Store it away. Your descendants will appreciate you for having to tell the story of your life. Thank you.